So good morning everyone, my name is Lalit Soni and you are watching Drishti IAS. In this live session, we'll be discussing Indian Express newspaper. As usual, as you know that this is our daily news analysis program wherein we'll be discussing Indian Express and we'll take up important articles from Indian Express and then we'll try to discuss and analyze them. Okay. So in today's video, we'll be talking about first the practice question which was given to you in the previous lecture, and then we'll come to the important articles. Before that, we have one section that is know our constitution. We'll be discussing certain articles of the constitution that can be important for your polity section. Other than that, this will work as an quick revision kind of section, so that will be there. And after that, we'll be talking about these 3-4 important articles. One is report on Wayanad landslides. You know that some 1 month or back there was this landslide which has happened in Kerala, and many people lost their life, and now we'll be talking about the reasons. There is a report which has been released and we'll be talking about that report. Okay, now moving further, there will be an Anusandhan course. Okay, this Anusandhan course is basically related to R&D, so we'll talk about that. We'll discuss it briefly. It was announced in budget. And then moving further, that what is DOS attack. Okay, so when we are talking about DOS attacks, recently there was this you can say online interview which was supposed to be held between Elon Musk and the former US President Donald Trump, but there were certain, you can say, mischievous activities which has happened, and because of which that interview got delayed. Okay, so we'll be talking about this DOS attack which has happened at that point of time. We will see why it is important for us. Okay, moving further, there will be one article for your own read, and then there will be practice question. Other than that, we will be discussing some international affairs as well. Okay, so this is the front page of the newspaper. Here you can see, reaching out to Bangla Hindus, Yunus visit temples underlines equal rights. So basically in Bangladesh, they are trying to streamline the situation. They are trying to maintain law and order, and in that order the Prime Minister has come forward and they have started a kind of a confidence building activity over there. Okay, Dhaka's interim government establishes hotline to report attacks on temple, churches and pagodas. Okay, so that is something which is a development which has happened in Bangladesh. Other than that, it is not an important article for us as of now. Okay, now moving further, first we will be seeing the practice question here. Who was the founder and president of the Kalinga Foundation Trust that created Kalinga Prize? Yesterday we have talked about the Kalinga Prize. It is given in the field of science and technology. Recently the central government has actually withdrawn support from this particular prize, and they said that they won't be giving their contribution anymore because they have established their own prizes. Okay, now options are Rajendra Prasad, Jawaharlal Nehru, Bijoyanand Patnaik, and then B.R. Ambedkar. So option C is your right answer over here. This particular award was instituted in 1951. Okay, and central government is supporting them since 2001, but recently they have withdrawn their support. Okay, so that is about this Kalinga Prize. Just remember that it is given in the field of science and technology. Okay, moving further, as you know that on the occasion of Independence Day, Drishti IAS has come up with a flat 40% discount on all online pen drive courses and test series and DLPs. Okay, now this discount can be availed from 15th of August to 18th of August. The link is given in the description. Otherwise, you can call on this number 8010440440 or 87501 Okay, or you can download the Drishti Learning app and then avail this offer. Okay, so again I'm telling you, the link is given in the description which you can avail. Now moving further and starting with the discussion, as I told you, we are discussing know our constitution section over here. In this we were on the part 3 of the constitution, that is related to fundamental rights. So let's see, we'll be discussing about two important articles today, that is article 29 and article 30. Now these two articles are basically related to your cultural and educational right. Here you can see the title of the article says protection of interest of the minorities. Okay, that is one thing. When we talk about minorities, Indian constitution has mentioned the word minority, which you can see over here. Otherwise also in different articles they have mentioned the word minority, but they did not define it. Okay, so it was defined by a statute. We'll talk about that. Other than that, when we are talking about article 30, right of minorities to establish and administer their educational institution. Okay, so for these minorities, they can actually go for establishment of the educational institution. That is a fundamental right which has been given. Okay, now other you can say, when we are not talking about the majority, they can also go for the administration of the education institution, but a specific right here is given to the minorities. Okay, Now, moving further, here you can see when we are talking about the term minority, as I told you, this term is not defined in the constitution, but it is given, or you can say mentioned in the constitution in the various articles like article 29, 30, article 350a, 350b, but a concrete definition is not given in the constitution. Now, I told you that the definition, or you can say the word minority derives its you can say substance from a particular statute that is there, that is National Commission on Minorities Act 1992. Okay. Now, in this particular, you can say statute, they have recognized 6 communities as minorities. Okay, so here you can see these are the 6 communities. One is Muslim, second is Christians, third is Sikhs, fourth is Buddhist, fifth is Parsis, and Jains. When we are talking about Jains, they were actually added in the list in 2014. Okay, before that we had 5 minorities. Since 2014 we have Jains, which has also been included in the minorities. Okay. Now, here you will be seeing currently only those communities notified under section 2C of the NCM, that is National Commission for Minorities Act 1992, by the central government regarded as the minority. Now, here you can say here central government is the authority who has actually mentioned these communities in the section 2C. Okay, so here right is with the central government, but there was this judgment, that is when we are talking about this name, that is TMA Pai case. In TMA Pai case, Supreme Court has said that the determination of minority should be on the state level and not on the central level. Here you can see it, which clearly determined that the linguistic and the religious minorities must be identified at the state level rather than the national level. Despite that particular judgment, as of now we have these minorities which has been defined at the national level. Okay, so that is about your 2 articles which are basically related to cultural and educational right, article 29 and 30, which are talking about the protection of the minority, which are talking about the rights of minority to establish a particular institution. Okay, so that is there. Now, moving further and coming to the article first of the day, that is related to Wayanad landslide, which has happened few days back. Now, in this particular report, they have actually discussed various you can say reasons. They have actually said that what are the factors which has led to such landslides and what will be the future course of action. Okay, now coming to the article here without any wasting of time. The rainfall that triggered the recent landslides in Wayanad, killing more than 200 people, were made 10% heavier by the human induced climate change. Now, the thing is, they are saying that the weightage of, or you can say the loss, or you can say the intensity which has been increased. Okay, why? Because human induced climate change was the reason behind that. Okay, there are various factors which has been taking place, and recently when we talk about this particular incident which has happened in Wayanad, the rainfall, there was this excess rainfall, and because of which this landslide has increased. Okay, so here you will be seeing this report was given by the World Weather Attribution, WWA. They have said that the excessive rainfall in the early hours of July 30 that triggered the landslide was once in a 50-year event. Okay, so they have said that earlier something like that has happened, but the thing is that the frequency was very, or you can say this is kind of a rare incident which has happened. Okay, but they have warned that in future these might reoccur. Okay, here you will be seeing Wayanad received 140 mm rainfall in a day on July 30, third heaviest single day rainfall event. Okay, they are saying that this is the third highest heaviest rainfall in a single day event which has happened. So basically it is a rare event which has happened recently. Overall, the above climate models indicates a 10% increase in the intensity, which we have discussed over there. The under a future warning scenario where the global temperature is 2 degrees Celsius, the higher than the pre-industrial level. As we talk about this temperature change, we have this target that we will try to keep it below 2 degrees Celsius, and even more we will try to keep it 1.5 degree Celsius. These are basically, you can say, international commitments which has been made by the, when we talk about the Paris Climate Agreement, etc. So on the basis of these agreements, we have decided that we will try to keep the temperature change below 1.5 degrees Celsius, okay, and 2 degrees Celsius from the pre-industrial level. Now they are saying that if we reach to that particular point of 2 degrees Celsius, here you will be seeing that the climate model predict even heavier one-day rainfall with a future expected increase about 4% in the rainfall intensity. So basically they are saying that if we reach to a point wherein we actually, we are at a place wherein the temperature change has gone beyond 2 degrees Celsius, at that point of time, these activities will reoccur and the intensity will be even more. Okay, so basically here they are saying that is 10% heavier intensity was there, but at that point of time when we reach the 2 degrees Celsius benchmark, at that point of time there will be a further increase of 4%. Okay, so ultimately you don't have to remember all this data, just know that after this can be a case study for you for your examination. Okay, so you can use it as a case study in examinations. Okay, so that is Wayanad. Now moving further increase the risk of the landslide in the region. If rainfall will be high, that means that there will be landslide. There are when we talk about rainfall, landslides, what happens is that water get inside the faults and the cracks which are there, and because of which there is a friction which acts over there, and that is why you can say these landslide like activities which are happening. Other than that, also there is the hydrological pressure. If water retention at a particular place is high, because of the weight of the water itself, there will be the some kind of if there is a fault line, there can be a landslide. Okay, so that is there. Now here you will be seeing raising the need for the adaptation actions that may include reinforcement for the susceptible slopes, landslide early warning systems, and construction of the retaining structures to protect the vulnerable localities. Okay, now since we know that there are chances that such activities will increase in the Wayanad, so what you can do is that you can go for the adaptation activities. Okay, you can try to make sure that such activities, when it happens, do not impact the communities which are living over there. Okay, so basically what you can do is that you can work on the slopes. If there is a slope which is susceptible to the landslide, you can work on that, one thing. Second thing, you can build a structure which can retain such a load which is coming from the landslide. Okay, so here you can see reinforcement of the susceptible slopes, landslide early warning system can be placed. Early warning systems are basically nothing but these are some kind, when we are talking about technology, we can use some technology over there and we can see if there is a chances of landslide which can happen, then we can give a early warning to the people living in that particular area so that they can make arrangements. Okay, when we talk about tsunami, when we talk about rainfall, we have robust early warning system in that case, but the thing is when we are talking about landslides, we have to develop such activities. Now moving further, construction of the retaining structures, okay, to protect the vulnerable communities from there. Now, assessing the influence of the climate change on the extreme weather events worldwide. This is basically WWA, when we are talking about the World Weather Attribution. This is a body which is actually assessing the climate change and impacts all over the world, and that is why they have actually given this particular report. And in the past also they have come up with the reports like which are related to heat waves, etc. When we are talking about the summers, recently we have seen that we have faced heat waves, we have faced the warmest of the years. Okay, so the heat wave in the India in April last year and again in the June this year had also been influenced by the climate change. So basically what they are trying to convey is that whatever extreme events which are happening, that is the result of the climate change, and this is high time that we have to start acting on it. Okay, moving further, here you will be seeing the factors such as the quarrying for building materials. When we talk about this area of Wayanad, this is a, you can say, hilly area, forest area. So most of the time what you will see, there is a deforestation. You will seeing that the quarrying activities are there, they are taking away taking building material from the hills. Ultimately all these activities are making the hills over there weak. Okay, and when we are talking about quarrying activities, you know that this will generate various cracks in the you can say fault lines. Okay, and because of which these activities like landslide will increase. So these are the anthropogenic activities which are done by the humans, and ultimately these are causing harm to the environment, and which results are seeing in the form of the climate change. Okay, so here you will be seeing there is a 62% reduction in the forest cover in Wayanad between 1950s to 2018. Okay, so that is one of the you can say impact which is happening. So this is the report which has talked about. So in examination, what you can do is that you can directly take this case study and you can show that how climate change is impacting, how you can show that nearly 62% of the forest has been gone from that particular area. When you lose a forest, ultimately the soil erosion will start, or the these trees has the capacity to hold the soil together. Okay, if these trees are not there, ultimately there will be a risk of landslides. Okay, so that is there. Now moving further to the next article, which is related to your sorry, which is related to Anusandhan Kosh. Okay, we will not go into further more details of it, because that is not been provided yet, because it was a recent you can say initiative. So the Anusandhan Kosh of rupees 1 lakh crore, This particular course is related to, course means fund, okay. So the fund is basically related to R&D, so that you can say help the private sector to go for the indigenous technology, okay. When we are talking about the current situation, we are more reliant on the imported technologies. So if we are going for the R&D in our own country, then there are high chances that, or there will be a reliability and the reliance on the indigenous technologies, okay. So for that we are planning a fund so that R&D can be promoted in India, okay. So coming to the article, to support research and innovation, 1 lakh crore fund to create opportunities for the youth, says the finance minister. Here you will be saying Anushandhan Kosh of rupees 1 lakh crore will provide long-term financing support to research and innovation in sunrise domains, create a new avenues for the India's tech-savvy youth. Okay, so basically for the startup etc., that will be a good opportunity. Now moving further, interim budget of financial year 25, they have actually announced this particular fund. Center is in the process of drawing up the comprehensive scheme to provide concessions capital to support private sector to encourage them to adopt indigenous deep tech and cutting edge technologies in the defense, energy and electronics. Since we are supporting Atmanirbhar Bharat, since we are trying to be a developed country by 2047, so we are trying that indigenous technology should be used, or the cutting, when we are talking about the cutting edge technology or the advanced technology, in that contribution of indigenous technology should be there, and that is why we are coming up with this particular fund for making sure India becomes a developed nation by 2047. So we have to be Atmanirbhar, and that is why such funds are necessary. Now normally Indian firms take tested foreign technologies, as they do not explore untested local technology with the same enthusiasm. Okay, so as I told you, the local technology has not been used by the private firms, and that is why we are trying to encourage them. Now concessional window of financing can take the Indian technology for their product development with lesser risk. If there will be support, there will be a high chance that there will be development of better technology, better testing will be there, and ultimately such technologies can be promoted in India. Okay, for that we have this Anushandhan course, so you can remember that it is in the field of R&D in the you can say advanced technology, and to encourage the private sector to use the local technologies. Okay, now moving further to the next article, which is related to your DOS attacks. Okay, that is a denial of service, denial of services attack, or there is another form of it, that is DDoS, that is distributed denial of service. Okay, now with the name it is clear that denial of service, something is done by a actor or malicious actor which is not letting the people or the genuine customers to use that particular service. Now that incident happens when Elon Musk has on their own platform, they have decided that they will be going for an interview with the Donald Trump, and before the interview there was some attack which has happened, and ultimately that interview got delayed by some 30-40 minutes. Now that attack was a DOS attack or DDoS attack. Okay, now what is a DDoS attack? Basically what happens, let's say this is your server. Okay, now this server has a capacity, or for example if we take a simple thing, if this is a door, okay, now this door has a capacity that at a time only one person can pass through this door. Okay, now if there is a queue and one by one people are passing, then it's all right. But if someone thinks that I want to block this door, or I want that people should not pass through this door, okay, and that with that malicious intention, what he does is that he makes a rumor over that there is some kind of animal which is coming over there, and because of which people are trying to cross this road, everyone is trying to getting inside it. Okay, from all over the side they are trying to get inside it, but the thing is no one is able to get through that because of the, you can say since the domain or the size of the door is such that only one person could pass, but since there is a rush over there and no one could pass this particular door. Similarly, if we consider a particular system or a server from where, or let's say a particular website, okay, now there is a website and that website can only hold a particular level of traffic. Okay, now if ultimately everyone is trying to get there at the same time, because of which there can be a crash of the website and ultimately no one would be able to avail the service. Such case is called as denial of the service. But the thing is, such thing should be done by a malicious actor. Okay, so the thing is, what happens is over there is that one person or one antisocial entity which decide that they will send some kind of invites to the you can say target audience. Okay, and they will flood the you can say audience with such invites, and this audience will try to go and access, or you can say they will click on the link. What they will do is they will send various links to the target audience, and some kind of incentive can be attached to it, or some kind of curiosity can be attached to it, and because of which these all people will try to click the link at the same time, and because of which the traffic at that particular service or the server will actually increase, and ultimately they won't be able to use the service. Okay, now when we talk about the distributed DDoS, that is the denial of service attack, then when there is this distributed denial of service attack, what happens is that when we are talking about this thing, there is only one person who is doing it. Okay, now if such requests are coming from various areas, okay, various servers are there which are sending you the request to click on particular link, then it is called as the distributed denial of service attack, which has happened recently in USA when there was this meeting which was planned over there. Okay, so that is about DOS and denial of service attack. What are the signs? What is the sign of such attack? That the you can say speed of the internet, or you can say access to that particular website, the speed will be slowed. Okay, there can be a crash. No one can be able to avail the services. You must have seen that when there is result announcements, okay, and ultimately everyone will be going there and try to click on the particular link, and you won't be able to get an access to it. At that point of time, that is because a particular website has a limited traffic which they can actually cater to. But the thing is, if that is being done by an actor knowingly or intentionally, that is called as DOS attack. Okay, so that is as simple as that. Now moving further to the next one. Now, stock not exhausted, Army extends its deadline for use of the old combat uniform till June 2026. Now, this is not important for us. Only thing is that remember that Army has gone for some kind of changes in the you can say uniform. Okay, so as and when that will be there. So just remember that there was some kind of change which has been done. Now, why this change was done? Because the old pattern was very easily available in the market. Okay, since the old pattern of the combat uniform was readily available in the market, one of the challenge was to create a unique and multi-terrain pattern, and for that NIFT actually has designed it. So you can remember this particular fact for PCS examinations, that NIFT, National Institute of Fashion Technology, they have actually designed this particular uniform this time. Okay, and this uniform is lightweight, robust and quick drying, and more comfortable for the troops during the operations. So that is about this particular thing. Why I have taken this thing? Because there was the change in the flag of Navy, and there was this change in the star ranking in the Navy, and because of which they have actually asked a question in the UPSC with respect to the various rankings. Okay, so that is why you have to keep a tab on such things also. Now moving further, in the international affairs, if we talk about, there are various events which are happening. When we talk about Gaza and Israel issue, that has been going for a long time now. There was this thing you can see, as yesterday we have seen that the PM's Netanyahu, when we talk about Israel's PM, his plan of you can say eliminating Hamas from that particular area, that has been called nonsense by their own defense minister, or you can say a person from their own you can say council of minister. Okay, and recently there was this particular event which has happened. A Gaza truce hangs in balance. Hamas says it wants implementation and not talks, because talks has been going for a long time now. Now they are saying that they want implementation. Now recently what has happened, that Hamas has fired 2 rockets at Israel's commercial hub, that is Tel Aviv, on Tuesday for the first time in months. Okay, after that attack which has happened on 7th of October, after that there was various activities which has happened, but after, when we are talking about Israel's you can say retaliation which has happened in the Gaza Strip, since then there was no such attack which has been launched by Hamas, but recently there was such attack which has been you can say launched by Hamas. One such missile went to the sea, and second was actually targeted this Tel Aviv. Okay, and because of which there was another retaliations which has been happening over there. Now Hamas are saying that they do not want some kind of talk, they want the implementation of the ceasefire. Now when we talk about this area, this the map, or you can say the location of this area becomes important. Here you can see this is your Israel, okay, this is West Bank, this is also dominated by the Palestinian population, and here we have this Gaza Strip, the recent issue which is going on in the Gaza Strip, which is over here, and then there is this Rafah crossing which is over there when we are talking about the Gaza and the you can say Egypt's border. Okay, so that is there. Other than that, all the crossings are basically opening inside the Israel. Okay, so that is there. Other than that, if we talk about Jerusalem, Jerusalem is basically the, you can say, capital. Jerusalem is was divided earlier, that is East and West Jerusalem, that is there. Other than that, here there is this area that is called Golan Heights. Okay, that is being controlled by Israel. Okay, that area actually belonged to Syria, but in a war in 1967, I guess, at that point of time, they actually taken this area. They, at that particular incident, when we are talking about the 1967 war, they have actually taken Golan Heights, they have actually taken the West Bank, then this particular area of Sinai Peninsula as well. But later on, they have actually given Sinai Peninsula back, but Golan Heights actually stays with them till now. Okay, so that is about that. Other than that, if you talk about the borders, here you can say Israel has border with Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon as well. Okay, so that you can remember. Now then there is this Dead Sea over here, we have Sea of Galilee over here. Okay, so these things you can remember, that is Mediterranean Sea. Now moving further to the next article, that is related to Iran. You know that Iran, recently there was this election which was there of president's election, because their president got killed in a particular crash, and there was this election which has happened. Now when we talk about not satisfied with the cabinet, Iran vice president resigned. Recently there was this incident which has happened, because when we talk about the president has actually he had a reformist manifesto, okay, or he has won the election on a reformist agenda, but after, you can say, election, he has actually chosen certain ministers in his council, they were from the conservative side, okay, and because of which the vice president has some reservations, and that is why he has resigned. That is the domestic issue, that is not important. What is important for our exam is that where Iran is located, what are the water bodies which are surrounding Iran, what kind of interest India has in Iran. So all these things are important for us. So we will see. So this is the location of Iran. Here you can see we have Persian Gulf, we have Gulf of Oman, that is the extension of the Arabian Seas. Okay, here we have Chahabar port, which we know that. Okay, after that we know that there is this Bandar Abbas port, which is important for us. Okay, other than that, if we see, there are various states which are having boundaries over here. You can see Pakistan, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Turkey. Okay, so these are the countries, and Iraq. So Iraq, Turkey, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, these are the countries which are having a land border with you can say Iran. Okay, here you will be seeing there is this Caspian Sea in the north, and in the south we have seen these two water bodies. Okay, so that is about Iran. Now moving further here, Russia strikes back at Ukraine forces in the Kursk region. When we are talking about yesterday's news analysis, or the day before yesterday, we have talked about the Kursk invasion. Ukraine has invaded in a region. Russia has recently accepted that yes, Ukraine has actually invaded. Okay, this event which has happened in nearly, you can say, 7 days ago. Okay. But then now Russia strikes back at the Ukrainian forces, because obviously Russia would not want to give away the region. Okay, Ukraine has taken this region so that they can have a better bargaining capacity in the upcoming talks which are there. That is the speculation which was made by Russia. Okay, Ukraine has not given their objective with respect to that, but the thing is, we can actually speculate that since there are you can say this Swiss talk has happened, and recently there will be another talk. Okay, for that, for the better bargaining, they want some kind of leverages, and that is why they have entered into this region. Now for us, what is important is that where is the location of this Kursk region. Now this is Russia, and here you can see this is Kursk, and this is Ukraine over here. Now this is having a direct boundary with the Ukraine, and that is why Ukraine has actually got inside this particular area. In this particular map, you can see that this is the part of Russia, and Russia actually has occupied this area. Okay, that is Ukrainian area which has been occupied by Russia recently. When we talk about this particular thing, this is Crimea, that was annexed by Russia in 2014 somewhere. Okay, and because of which Russia is still facing some kind of sanctions. Okay, so that is there. So please remember that when we are talking about this Kursk region, that is in Russia. Okay, and this is on the border, Russia-Ukraine border. Okay, moving further, This is basically for your own read. There is this article which is related to the Hindenburg probe or the report, since we have talked about this particular report. But the thing is, now opposition wants that this issue should be given to the joint parliamentary committees for the scrutiny, and joint parliamentary committee has gone for the scrutinies like this in the past as well, when we talk about the 2G scam, 2G spectrum case which has happened, and then share market scam which has happened, security and banking transaction in 1992. In such cases, the joint parliamentary committee has been given the you can say opportunity to scrutinize this particular issue. Similarly, opposition is wanting similar thing for the Hindenburg report case as well. Okay, so you can go through it if you are interested. Now last part is basically your MCQ practice. In which country the Kursk region is located? Ukraine, Belarus, Russia, Kazakhstan. So we have discussed this. You can attempt this question and answer in the comment box. With that, I would like to take your leave. I'll see you in the next episode. Till then, have a good day. Thank you. And if you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe it. Have a nice day. Thank you and happy Independence Day in the advance.